Our first Educational Advisory Board meeting. I'm Dr. Bill Tallmer, I'm the chair. So welcome everyone. It's 6 o'clock, so we're very cognizant of people's time. So Jacqueline, if you'd like to, we could all stand please for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then Jacqueline, you want to do roll call, please?
Thank you, Chair. Chairman Dr. Bill Tallmer.
Here.
Vice Chair Crystal Clark. Present. Stephen Brown. Present. Julie Heiss Smith. Here. Dwayne St. Hill. Pamela Shetka. Here. Christy Jean. Present. And Councilman Jeff O'Mara.
Here. Thank you, Jacqueline. And in the interest of time, we'd like to start at the very highest level here. We want to thank Marcia Andrews for coming today, and of course, everybody knows our school board member who is everywhere. So she's going to have a presentation today, and so we'd love to have it and listen to Ms. Andrews. So thank you.
Good afternoon to the board and to the audience. I'm Marcia Andrews, your school board member. I come this evening to welcome our new Education Advisory Board. This is going to be a great year. I also bring greetings from our superintendent, Dr. Donald Fenoy, and all 7 school board members. This is a time when we come together as a family, as a group. The School District of Palm Beach County, the Village of Royal Palm Beach, the Education Advisory Committee, the parents, and all of the stakeholders, so that we can always answer your questions, to give you an update of what's going on in our schools, as well as be here as an active partner with you. We take your job very seriously as you work within our schools with us, and we want to hear your thoughts at all times. We will always bring to you different information as we move throughout the year so that you will be abreast of the calendar of events as well as activities in all of our schools. So tonight they have me moving in 2 different directions. I'm here tonight for you, but I'm getting on the road to head to Belle Glade to the City Council meeting, but usually this is my date for you. This is a part of what I do as your board member, to try to make every Educational Advisory Board meeting and to be available to you. I've already had an opportunity to meet each one of you individually, to shake your hands, to invite myself to you for any need you may have. I'd love to have lunch with you. I'd love to walk with you throughout the schools as you wish. I serve you. And as you look at the audience tonight, we have excellent principals, excellent students in the Village of Royal Palm Beach, excellent parents, and we know that Royal Palm Beach is the highest exemplary standard. It has it for all of what we need for our children. And as the Educational Advisory Board, we look to you to help us even take it to the next level. So thank you for allowing me to come first tonight, and I promise I'm going to drive the speed limit as I move west. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You forgot to mention we have a pretty strong board also, Ms. Andrews. So, again, we appreciate all the support. We appreciate everything you share with us, and we are a family. So we look forward to working together, and thank you for all your advocacy and all your, because if you drive anywhere, you're going to see her, coming, going, or standing. So please be safe, and thank you again for joining us. Okay, next on the agenda, from Royal Palm Beach High School, Dr. Jesus Armas, please. Dr. Armas, you're going to be able to top that, right? This is, the bar's been set good, so I will look forward to your presentation.
Yeah, no, I don't like to follow her. She's a great speaker, boy. Mr. Chair and Mr. Councilman and Board, thank you very much for having me here tonight. This really is one of my favorite nights out of the year, when I get to come and kind of give you a sort of a state of the union of Royal Palm Beach High School and talk about Royal Palm Beach High School. I hope that as we get to know each other, you'll find that I'm very passionate and proud of Royal Palm Beach High School, its staff, its students, the work that we're doing in our community in general. And so I think we've got a lot of great things going on, and we look for your support as we kind of move forward. Tonight, I do just want to take 1 second to introduce two people that when you come on our campus, you'll be seeing them often. They are my two senior assistant principals, Ms. Crystal Amato and Ms. Lisa Jones. They kind of wave at you, wave, gals. That's good. They are, like I said, my two senior APs, and they are responsible for most of that good work that's being done there. So to begin, at Royal Palm Beach High School, back 9 years ago, and I start 9 years ago because that's when I got there. And I don't know about anything before me. All I know is what's going on since I've been there, right? And so the first thing we did was we created a vision. And the way I did it was Ms. Amato actually was our lead, was one of our teacher leaders at the time. She wasn't even in administration. I asked her to lead a committee of all stakeholders, parents, community members, staff. We had everybody there, students. And I asked them, I gave them a few parameters, and then I left the room for the rest of the summer. And I let them have it all summer, and my instructions kind of to them were, hey, I'm just getting here. This is your school and your community. You tell me what you want your school to be. And then from there, I promise you that I will go about my business to make sure that we can get to your vision, right? And since then, that vision has become my vision. We really are in tune with it. It's not something that's just posted on the wall. We talk about it all the time. We show it at meetings. You'll see plenty of it as you get to know us. For us, the vision serves as a philosophical foundation, as a guiding light to what we want to do, and it also serves as a report card, right? Because when we look at it, we also kind of want to go back and see where we are relative to where we started, and are we doing what we want to do to get to where we want to be, right? And so tonight you'll see some of that, especially the report card when we talk about some of the things that happened in the past, right? So it begins with the fact that Royal Palm Beach Community High School is dedicated to meeting the holistic needs of students. We understand that we get them as 14-year-old children, and they walk away 4 years later as 18-year-old young adults. And those are 4 very important formative years in their lives. And so we understand the gravity of the work that we do, right? And we also understand that it's not just about how well a kid tests, right? There's a lot more to a student, right? And so we believe our vision takes into account all of that. So those needs of our students right now, as far as our enrollment goes, if you see back in 2010, 2011, and again, that's the year that we kind of start everything, we had 2,062 students, and 51% of them were on free and reduced lunch. Okay? Today, at our 11-day count, we were at 2,309 students, okay, with a free and reduced lunch of 80.4%. Okay? Now, that jump of whatever that is, close to 30 points, is the largest increase in the district. Now, let me just tell you this. We're not an outlier, right? There are other schools who have also increased. In fact, every high school in the district has increased over 10%, right? So we're not an outlier. Nevertheless, we do have the largest increase in free and reduced lunch students. So as we're looking to fulfill our vision and meet the holistic needs of our students, we know, we know that the more free and reduced lunch students you have, the more difficult it is to meet all of those needs because they have more needs. It's just that simple. And so we know that the work that's been that we've had has not been easy. Nevertheless, it's what we do, right? So how do we meet their needs? First and foremost, we have to have a safe, respectful, and culturally conscious environment. And we do this a couple of different ways. We do it through our practices, right? What we call our systems, right? Our supervision plan, how we do our codes, our committee meetings and those kind of things, right? And those are the systems, and it's important to have systems, right? Because if you don't have systems, then you have anarchy. But more importantly, it comes down to the personnel, right? So We have 4 student service assistant principals. Aside from the 2 ladies you just met, we have 4 more assistant principals who work in student services, meeting the needs of the students. We have 2 full-time police officers, a police aide that we station at the front gate so that when you come in, he's greeting you, a very polite gentleman. 7 full-time personnel for security, 3 deans of student services, so you see that we have 7 people in student services working with our students, an 18-member crisis response team. And all of that, the other stuff was systems. All of this is culture and relationship building, right? Because frankly, that's really where safety comes in. It's in the relationship building. Can we get the kids to talk to us so that we know what's going to happen before it happens, right? And when we have that, then we have a safe campus. So obviously, we're always looking to get our kids to speak out, right? And so our campaign, like a lot of people's campaign, we've had this for a while. That if you see something, please say something. Some quantifiable data that kind of talks to our safe and respectful campus. I believe that this is one of the most important things. 22 of our staff members have a student that is a relative at the school, whether it's a child, a grandchild, or a sibling, including the principal, who's got a sophomore on our campus, right? And 21 of our employees are Royal Palm Beach High School alumni, right? All of those people have more than just a cursory attachment to the school, right? I mean, you're attached to the school that your kid goes to. I want my kid at Royal Palm Beach High School because I know that we're doing the right things, right? And those other staff members do too. And our kids are coming back. We got a call the other day, Ms. Jones got a call from an alumni. Hey, I'm coming back in the area and kind of looking for a job. And, I know that Dr. Armas hires alumni, right? So the word is getting out, and which is great. That's what I want, because we want to hire our kids and we want them back, right? Other data, back in 2010, 2011, that year we had a total of 1,892 referrals. Now, let me just tell you that also was not an outlier at that time, right? Actually, it was kind of middle of the pack, to be quite honest with you, when compared to other schools in the district. So it wasn't a real outlier. However, this last year we had 320. So in that time period, we've dropped $1,500 referrals. Now, let me just say that a lot of that is the systems, putting systems in place to ensure that we're just not having just trivial referrals, but it also goes back to that culture building, and I'll show you something here coming up that's really good about that. Back then we had 638 suspensions. This last year we had 273, so again, all our numbers are dropping when it comes to that. But this is my favorite stat, really, of all. Back in 2010, that's the FY11, the fiscal year 2011 year, we had 387 students who had 1 referral, 151 who had 2 referrals, and we had 278 students who had 3 or more referrals, right? For a total of students of 816 having referrals, which is 40% of the student body received a referral, right? This past year, okay, 240 students received referrals, and that's 11% of the student body. And I think we can get it down even to 10. But what a difference when only 10%, in essence, of your students are receiving referrals versus 40%, right? And I want to make sure that this is not an indictment on the students or the staff in 2010, 2011. It was just a lack of alignment and a lack of systems that we didn't have put in place yet, and the culture yet wasn't where we wanted it to be, right? So we've been working. Now, the 2 numbers that really jump out to me are those 2 right there. See, this is where the culture piece comes in. It's not about necessarily just not getting kids to get a referral the first time. It's about what are you doing to ensure that that first referral doesn't become a second referral that then can lead to a third referral, right? And you can see where those numbers have dropped for us. So only 4% of our student body actually had multiple referrals. And then, because anybody can get a referral, you can chew gum at the wrong time, maybe, right? We stopped that. That's part of the getting it down. And then the other thing is where we look at this, and that's that 3+ referrals from 278 students to only 38, right? And again, that goes back to the, yes, systems, but that's that culture piece, that relationship piece that our staff has with our students, right? So we know that aside from safety, we also, our job is to educate them, right? So we have to have rigorous academics with personalized learning. For us, rigorous academics comes 3 ways at us. It comes through the curriculum that we teach, right? What we teach. comes through the instruction, how we teach it, and then it comes through the instructors. Who's teaching them? And I think we all know that the most important thing is who is teaching the kids, right? Because that teacher in the classroom is the most important thing. So when we talk about the curriculum, we have several. First and foremost are the Florida standards. That is what we're supposed to be teaching, and that is what our students get assessed on in the FSA and the EOCs, right? So obviously we have to teach the Florida standards. But we also teach the standards through the college and career academies that we have, through the programs that we have, right? And so just to give you an idea of the college and career academies that we have, and all of these are choice, our air conditioning, our HVAC, which is the oldest academy in the district, our medical science, where students can either take a pre-med track, or they can go through and take a lot of industry certification, and our passing rates in our medical science industry certification are just really, I mean, they're almost at 100%. They do really a great job there. Our medical science is our largest academy as far as numbers goes. Right? We have a business marketing that basically has become sports entertainment, and a lot of that work is done through our DECA program. And our up-and-coming academy that we started 4 years ago is our STEM Academy. And really there's two tracks there, engineering or gaming, computer game design. And the work that our STEM teacher is doing there with our kids, and the stuff that our kids are doing, are just really fabulous. I want you to please come by. I'll take you there, and you'll see learning as learning is supposed to be, right? Kids working with the teacher they're facilitating, right? And our latest academy is our JROTC that we just started last year, right? Just to give you an idea how our academies have grown, back in 2011 and 12, I didn't have numbers for 10 and 11, but that fiscal year of 12, there were, of the applicants that we've got through the Choice Academy, and you all know how the Choice Academy process works. Everybody's turning in an application. For us, their 8th grade year, right? And sometime in December, January, they'll turn in an application, and they put down schools or academies, choice programs, based on their choice, and they get 2 choices, a first choice and a second choice. Back then, 69 students had chosen Royal Palm Beach High School, a Royal Palm Beach High School Academy, as their first choice. This student body, we had 270 students that put Royal Palm Beach High School as their first choice, right? So that's a number that we're happy with, although I will say that our academies are getting filled up. They really are. So we are looking at waiting lists. We're starting some of those. So we'll see how that continues to grow. And then the last thing that we have as far as curriculum is our international programs. And our latest is the International Baccalaureate, the IB program that we just brought in. This year, we'll have our first IB graduating class. And so we're excited to see how they do on those tests, and how they move on, and where they're going to college and those things. We also have ACE, and most schools every high school really today has ACE program through the University of Cambridge. Again, higher level college prep classes. We've always had AP classes, and then AVID is a college prep type program for students who are non-traditional college goers. And so we're always looking for those students who maybe are coming from homes where the parents didn't go to college, non-traditional college students. And the goal is to get them in and then have them apply to college and get them there. And it'll be to get them to be first-time college goers for their families. It's a great program. We have over 250 students in it, and we have one of the larger programs in the district. So for all of this, the state will give you FTE, a full-time equivalent, right? It's all math. Nobody really understands it. But we know this. We get 0.16 of an FTE. We get 0.16 of an FTE for every test that we pass, right? So back in 2010, 2011, we got 23.36 FTEs for those accelerated tests that our students passed. This last year, not this last year, 2 years ago, because our numbers haven't come in yet for last year. So 2 years ago, we earned 103 FTE for that. Now, I can tell you in full disclosure that that's not a number I like. It's too low, and we're looking to improve on that number. That number is still low. We'd like to see us get, in the very near future, the next couple of years, like to see us start getting up into the 150 range, and eventually, hopefully, get up into the 200. But right now, that's a number that really we want to improve on, right?
Did you see their eyes when you said 200?
Yeah,
Your
they can do it.
APs?
Oh, they can do it. They'll figure it out.
They're going to figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
So that's curriculum. The second thing that's part of having rigorous academics is having our instruction, how we teach the kids, right? And quickly, because we're not getting into an education course, but everyone talks about rigor in the classroom, right? But very few people define rigor or can define rigor. At Royal Palm Beach High School, we have a definition for rigor. Rigor for us is standards-based cognitive complexity. In other words, you take the standards and you reach the highest level of cognitive complexity that you can for that standard, right? For those of us who've been in the education world and we're old, that would be Bloom's, all of Bloom's stuff, right? Then you bring along with that student autonomy, meaning that you take kids from in a unit, right? You're taking them from previewing to problem solving. You're taking them from the beginning stages to the high level. And the best example for that is that if I'm in a science class on day one, I might give them a prescriptive science lab, right? Take 20 milliliters of water, put it in a cylinder, weigh this penny, put the penny in, do this, do that, right? That's prescriptive. That's what you're doing at the beginning of the unit. At the end of the unit, the kid is designing his or her own experiment, right? That's how you get the rigor, right? By getting that complexity there. And so that's our goal in every classroom, every day, to try to get rigorous. And then the last thing to ensure that we're giving our students rigorous academics is the instructors who teach us it. And if you're going to claim to have a world-class education, then you better have teachers who have world-class experiences and are world-class. We're proud of our credentialed and internationally experienced faculty. We have 32 teachers on our staff that have educational, professional, international experiences in 38 different countries. We have 33 of them who are bilingual, 17 who speak 3 languages, and 6 who speak 4 languages. I know, I have trouble with English. So, but these individuals all are very good. We have 10 of them who are published, having published a total of 12 books and over 150 educational articles, right? 9 of them have postgraduate degrees from international universities, right? And 8 of them have their doctorates. And a number that I'm really proud of, 3 of our teachers have IB diplomas, and all 3 of them are teaching in our IB program. And what better way to show a student how to get that IB diploma than to show them how they got it and talk to them about their experiences, right? So that's a number that we're really proud of. We know that it can't all be classroom, right? When parents ask me, how do I ensure that my kid can be successful at the high school level? I always tell them 2 things. 1, get them involved in something. A club, an organization, a sport, doesn't matter, a career academy. Get them involved in something. 2, show up, right? Just be around the school. Let us see you, right? Come to SAC meetings, do those kind of things. If you show up and the kids involved, success is it comes right along, right? So we have a variety of extracurricular activities, and we do it through all the different types of clubs that most schools are going to have. We particularly like that leadership track. We're starting to get some leadership groups on our campus. We think that makes our culture on campus better when we increase the number of leaders, right?
Dr. Armas, what's the percentage of students involved in those activities?
We have exactly 42.32%. I don't know. You got me. Man, I have all this data, and you got me on the one that I don't know. I don't know.
I could have rolled with 42. I'd been all right.
42%.
I wasn't going to press you on that.
You know what? Truly, I could have said that, stuck with it, and you would have believed it.
I would have been good.
Right.
We're a friendly board here.
I always tell people, you just say something, right? And forget it. Don't hesitate, right? No, but I tell you what, I will look to get that answer, and next board meeting, I'll have it for you, okay?
Thank you.
We knew at the time when we came in that we had to be not just part of the community. We needed to be a beacon for this community. We needed to be a part of the fabric of this community because the community is important to us, right? And so our involvement in the community is very important. It begins with our adult and community school that's robust. We are major players in the Western Communities Relay for Life. We participate, and these are some of the things we do. We participate in the Royal Palm Beach Great American Cleanup. We have our Christmas tree sales. Early pitch, please buy your Christmas trees from us, right? It's our student council who runs it, and they do a really good job, and it's really something that we think is neat. We also have our pumpkin patch, where we have our elementary kids come to us, and we're part of the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office food drive, along with many, many other things that we're doing in the community as far as volunteer work throughout, right? We also believe in our Royal Palm Beach K-12 continuum. We believe that as the high school, that it's important for us to be a part of this continuum and all work with, and all of us work together as principals. We're very fortunate in the village that our principals work together. We have several programs that we're beginning to have this continuum. Our STEM we already have. Cypress Trails has STEM. Crestwood has STEM. We have STEM. Our other two elementary schools now have STEAM, so we're getting that through. Our student council has begun some work with H.L. Johnson and with Crestwood, right? So we're getting all these different, our goal is to get as many programs where a student can begin their education at Royal Palm Beach and at a Royal Palm Beach elementary school and go throughout and never have to leave the village to get a quality, world-class education. And that's our goal, right? And so we're working with our elementary schools to bring in IB programs and to bring ACE programs, and the high school is willing to help with all the resources that we can muster to help them out, right? In any of the programs that they have. It doesn't have to just be academics. It could be the watchdogs or our parent all-star volunteers at Cypress Trails, right? Whichever it is. And then we also know we have to have open communication. If it wasn't important in 2010 with social media and everything, it certainly is today, right? We know that we live in a transparent world. We want to be transparent. We have nothing to hide. And so, one of the first things we do is I do use Remind. Look, if we're in a lockdown, I do two things. I go to my parent link and send out an email, and I go to my Remind and I send out a message. And the parent link really goes to only our parents, but who are in our student information system. But anybody can sign up for the Remind. I encourage you to sign up for it. Every once in a while, we'll give a shout out to somebody. I promise never to text too late or too early in the morning, right? But it is something that if you want to kind of know what's going on at the high school, I do use that. Please follow us on Twitter, please. And I'm not very good at Twitter. I'm trying to be, I promise. I really am. I'm just not. And I think at some point I just have to kind of say, okay, I give with something, let me get, so I need to get myself a real good ghost tweeter. Is it tweeter? Twitterer? I forget. So we got to make sure and do that, right? I am very proud of our website. The district has gone to a uniform website, and we obviously have gone along with them. The important thing for us was that now parents can go on the website and they can go following along with our K-12, right? They can have a student at one of our elementary schools, a student at Crestwood, and a student at Royal Palm Beach High School, and you can go to the website and it's uniform, and you can go to the same place to look for similar things. Having said that, we try to keep it up to date as best as possible. We don't get money to have a web master or whatever they call those things, right? So we have our people who are trying to keep it updated, and for those of you who have ever run a website, you know that the problem is not starting it. The problem is keeping it up to date, right? Very difficult. So we do our best, considering that it's really nobody's full-time job, but I actually am proud of it. I think we do a good job with it. Then something that we have our Royal Palm Beach High School app, right? Look, there's an app for everything, right? And so we had to have an app for Royal Palm. A lot of the stuff that's on the website just translates over to this, but the one button on this one that I really think is important and really gets the most use from our students is that button right there, which says to report an issue. A student can go on there and report any kind of issue that they have, whether it's a weapon or a bully, or they're in a class and there's a substitute teacher and there's a kid in the class that doesn't belong, or whatever, right? And they can go right on their app, they send that off, and the minute they send it off, it can be anonymous, they send it off, and that then sends an email to every one of our assistant principals, who all get it immediately, and then we act, we go, we move, right? And they do what they do. And that's one of our ways of keeping the campus safe and of getting the kids to talk to us, right, and to tell us stuff. And because sometimes, a kid might be intimidated or something to speak out, and this is a good anonymous way for them to do it. And we do get a lot of use out of that. The students do use it. Right? Finally, our visionaries in the room back in 2010 said that we had to graduate our kids, right? And of course we do. That's our job, ultimately, right? We have to graduate them. And so when we take a look at our graduation rate, back in that year, it was an abysmal 70.9. Not good. There's nothing to be proud of that. It was low, and it was what it was. We knew that we had to begin the process. And we knew we had to begin the process back then of creating the systems, aligning the resources, and then creating those relationships, but not necessarily with the seniors, although obviously with them also. But if you're chasing seniors for graduation all the time, you're never going to graduate them, right? You got to start with the ninth graders, right? And that's where AVID comes in, and that's where the programs that we had and the systems that we put in place and the culture that was built. And so, early on, we were moving. The next year we were at 74.9. The following year we were at 76.0. 4 years later, after we had a whole class come through there, now we're at 77. So that was a 6.5 point increase, which was nice. But then FY15 was a landmark year for us. We got to 82.8, and that year, that 82.8 broke the school's all-time record. All time. So that included back when the school was 10% free and reduced lunch or whatever. And just as a reminder, remember that all of this is being done as our free and reduced lunch status is climbing, right? All this lowering of referrals, all this graduation rate increasing is all being done while our students are becoming to us even more needy than normal, than what we had been, right? And so this, again, just speaks to the system, to the alignment, to the culture of our staff, and to the great student body that we had all along, right? The great student body that we had all along that we just needed to kind of get going. So then the following year in FY16, we had another big jump, and that was another great year for us, right? And that obviously was a new school record. And then the graduating class of FY17, the class of 17 graduated at 90.5. The district, and of course, at this point, we're just breaking records every time, right? And so the district, with the superintendent's strategic plan, had called for all high schools to get to 90. And I know what they were thinking. They were thinking we'll get the non-Title I schools to be up over 90, and we'll get the non-titles, right, and that kind of thing. And we're just going to go for 90. Well, as a Title I school, we were already at 90. We weren't going to let anybody else, we weren't going to get carried. We wanted to help in this process, right? So we got the 90, which was a great number for us, right? And so now we await FY18, the class of 2018 that just graduated in May. We await those numbers. They normally don't come until later in the winter. But we're predicting, and I say predict because the state always throws us like 2 or 3 kids that we're like, what? That was a dropout? And those kind of things, right? So it's hard to pin those numbers down. But we're predicting that the class of 2018 got past 91 and is going to break the record too. We got our fingers crossed that our predictions are right and that they did that. I don't want that number to get lost on us. I really don't. I don't want us to be numb to that number. That's an impressive number. When the deputy superintendent called me and he said to me, he says, hey, congratulations, you're at 90.5. And I said, He says, what's the matter? And I said, I thought we had a shot at 91. And he says, Jesus, he says, there are schools across this state that have the complexity of yours and are in the 70 graduation rate of the 70s. He says, what you're doing there is great work. And so I don't want that number to be lost about the work that our students and parents are putting in, the great faculty that we have, okay, that is getting our kids to graduate, the counselors, right? The counselors that are the ones who do the credit checks and get the kids and call up, and when a kid's at risk, they're the ones calling up mom or sometimes grandmom, right, to make sure that the kid graduates. And it also speaks to our non-instructional staff, our custodians, our cafeteria workers, our clerical staff, because you try teaching a kid who's hungry. in a dirty classroom, right? Can't happen, right? And so it's an entire staff. It's not just a faculty, right? And then our leadership, our assistant principals, our instructional coaches, those individuals who do such a fantastic job of kind of running things for us. So it really is a team effort. We get great support from our regional office. And certainly, Ms. Andrews was here, and since she's not here, I can say this, and it doesn't sound like sucking up. She is really good. I mean, she is really good. She is a huge advocate for Royal Palm Beach High School and all of our schools, but for Royal Palm Beach High School, I know she is. And from the dais and from everywhere else where she's traveling, you're right, she's everywhere. She's always an advocate for Royal Palm Beach High School and what we're doing. So I couldn't thank her more for what she
Dr.
does.
Ermis, since the IB program's growing, getting stronger, how is that going to positively affect that graduation rate, do you think?
I don't think it'll affect the graduation rate at all. Those kids would be graduating anyway, right? Those kids are going to graduate. It's our at-risk students that obviously we're chasing. The kids who come to us and haven't been fed, or who have to get themselves up every morning, right, with nobody at home, and have to at 5:30 in the morning to get on a bus. Okay, just for the record, if my son had to get up on his own at 5:30 to catch a bus, we'd be having some serious issues, right? And I'm there, right? Our kids come to us with all sorts of at-risk factors in their lives, right? And so they're the ones that really we worry about, right? So a kid doesn't drop out.
That leads me to this question. I see great APs, I see everything, your staff, I see the numbers. I don't see the parental participation number anywhere. Tell me give me the feel of the culture and how that's changing and some of those good things.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you that it's great.
Yeah.
It's not. Unfortunately, we're very typical when it comes to a Title I school with 80% free and reduced lunch, where our parent participation is lagging. And all that falls on me. I have to do a better job of getting the word out, of creating programs where we can get our parents in, those kind of things. I agree with you. Title I, the federal government, when they give you Title I monies, they recognize the importance of parent participation, because they tell you, you've got to do X, Y, and Z, or you're not getting any of this money, right? And a lot of it, or most of it actually, is based on parent participation. We understand the importance of it. I'd like to say that we're doing a really good job there. We're not. We just, right now, we're typical. I'd love to be atypical and have a room full of parents every time we have a meeting, but unfortunately, we don't get that yet, Finally, and I know that that the Chief of Staff and others are going to talk about this, and I always have to tread lightly because I'm only allowed to say a few things on this without getting myself in trouble. There are rules. So as the principal of Royal Palm Beach High School, and I'm not going to get into the information because they will. As the principal of Royal Palm Beach High School, I can tell you that what the district is saying is 100% accurate for Royal Palm Beach High School and for your community, right? I can tell you that matter of factly. Now, I can also tell you this. As the parent of Daniel Armas, a student of Royal Palm Beach High School, I can tell you that I am going to vote yes, because I do recognize the importance of this passing, right? That's all I have for you at this time.
So, to sit
Can
here...
I go back to your question, though, for one thing?
Absolutely.
Let
Which
me just
one?
say this.
I asked you a couple. Which one?
Let me just say this. When you talked about the IB program, there are two reasons why we wanted IB. First of all, I don't think that our students in the Western communities, and that's not just Royal Palm, that's Wellington, that's the Acreage, right? I don't think that our students should have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning or earlier to get on a bus, to travel 45 minutes, right, to go into Riviera Beach, to go to a school, right, to go to Suncoast or wherever, right? I just don't think they should have to do that. So we always wanted to have an IB program because we think it's the right thing for the community. I taught at an IB school. I taught at at Suncoast High School for 5 years. I taught IB, and so I know how good IB can be. And so I want our kids to be in IB. I want all the Western community students to have an opportunity to come to an IB program, right? That's the first thing. Now, the second reason why I wanted to have it, and for Royal Palm Beach High School, is because a rising tide lifts all boats, right? And when you can come in and you can bring in a program as strong as IB, right, and start to get the students who are going to be producing that, that helps out in so many ways. And while it might not help that graduation rate, it certainly helps out in so many other ways. You know that FTE that you saw that we get for every test taken, right? Well, that comes with money, right? So the more money we get, the more that then I can turn that, and I always turn that money around mostly to back into personnel. The reason I can have 7 security personnel that are doing nothing but security, all that's paid through, that's not district money through their operational budget. That's money that I'm paying out of those accelerated tests, right? So we're safer today because of IB, right? Because I've been able to, IB will get there. Right now it's ACE and AP that's carrying us, right? IB we haven't had, but we will be safer. We will be able to lower class size ratios because of the fact that I can then hire an extra teacher or 2 using that money. So a rising tide lifts all ships, right? And we know that bringing a strong program like IB in will help in so many ways. It helps with student leadership. It helps with student culture. It also helps financially to help us have more resources. So the IB program is valuable. It's valuable to us. More importantly, I think it's valuable to the Western communities in general and to our community in particular in the Rural Palm.
Board, do we have any, this is an amazing, I'm just going to tell you where you came from and what you've done is just amazing. I spent a lot of time overseas and all over the country, and what you're doing it's just exemplary. Board, anybody questions or comments? Did you want to share with the principal?
I just want to say that I have worked in a district not as large as Palm Beach, but I've dealt with a lot of principals. A lot of principals. We had a high school that had 7 principals in 9 years. I've never met a principal with such dedication toward getting the job done. And I just want to give you kudos for that. Having spent time with you and hearing your heart and your vision and the things that you implement. It's rare. Usually you get one side or the other. They're staff-oriented and they want a nice building and building culture with staff, or they're kid. And usually they don't mix the two. And I see you making strides to mix the two so that you get a full culture. And I really appreciate you for that.
I appreciate that. We've got a lot of good people on our staff. And people ask me, what's the thing that you love most about Royal Palm Beach High School? And I tell them, it's kids. I'm telling you, we got great kids. Everywhere we go, we're complimenting on our kids and in every way. They're just great kids.
Mr. Brown, anything you want to add? You're good? Okay.
I'll add something.
Yeah, please.
We have a lot of your Honor Society kids come to HL to volunteer to help us with our PTO events, and they're amazing. They do a great job. They walk up and they say, what can I be doing? They never just sit there. So, and I agree with what they've both said, that you've done some really amazing things.
Oh, thank you. Yes, our NHS and our student council both go out and do a lot of tutoring and volunteering at the elementary schools, and they're great organizations.
Mr. Hill, do you have anything you want to add? Or Ms. Shetka? All I can tell you is I went to the IB program, and Crystal and Lisa, you guys do a wonderful job, and every student we ran into, was as intelligent, as polite, and just as excited about all that. And to the faculty, if you haven't spent time with that faculty, I've been in university life 20 years, they are amazing. The one individual they put on top, he got more kudos than anybody. They couldn't stop cheering him. It was a really proud, special kind of relationship they have with the faculty, and that's a great faculty. And so again, I know you don't like to take kudos, but somebody's got to lead it. And so you have got that vision, and whatever we can do at this board to support what's going on to enhance that, you have our support, Dr. Armas.
I can tell you how you can give me tangible support, and that is to just keep informed and stay informed, because the worst thing that can happen for us is misinformation, right? I need people informed on who we are and what we are and the great things that are going on and how we are part of the fabric of this community. And the more that you're informed, the more that you can relay that out to us. And I very much appreciate you willing to serve on this and being here. So thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
And thank you again. I thank very much for everything. Very good. Well done. Okay, so the district, or is this Dr. Rodriguez's group, correct? Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Vivian Green, and I am the instructional superintendent supervising the elementary schools here in the village of Royal Palm Beach. And I bring you greetings on behalf of our regional superintendent, Dr. Frank Rodriguez, and also our secondary instructional superintendent, Mr. Ed Tierney, who may walk in momentarily. To the board, I would like to acknowledge our principals that we have here with us this evening. Representing Royal Palm Beach Elementary is our assistant principal, Mrs. Fong. Representing Cypress Trails Elementary School is our newly appointed principal, Mr. Bruce Salter. Representing our middle school, Dr. Stephanie Nance. And as you know, representing our high school, Dr. Aramis. So I'd like to thank all of our principals and our assistant principal that came out to support us this evening. This evening, we are here to talk about a very important topic to the school district of Palm Beach County. And to assist us in this conversation, we have with us our Chief of Staff to our Superintendent, Dr. Donald Fenoy, Mrs. Amity Schuyler, who is here to educate us this evening on the referendum. Yeah, go ahead and play first.
School District is the top performing urban school district in Florida and one of only 20 counties in the entire state to earn an A rating. The district's 300 choice and career programs are nationally recognized programs that provide students specialized education in the arts, music, sciences, technology, and math. The school district is the largest employer in Palm Beach County, but these successes are at risk. And today, there's an even greater need to enhance school safety and focus on mental health services for students. So this November, voters will consider the school district's referendum, which proposes a $1 million levy to continue to fund more than 650 art, music, PE, health, choice and career education teachers, add more school police officers and safety equipment to every school, hire additional mental health professionals, school counselors, school social workers, and school psychologists to support our children, keep our existing teachers' staff levels, and improve pay for experienced teachers so that schools and students can continue their academic success and teachers can afford to live in Palm Beach County. If approved by voters, all levy expenditures will be monitored by an independent oversight committee of citizens and experts. The levy will automatically expire in 4 years. Here's why the levy is needed. Florida's rank in K-12 education funding per student has fallen from 36th in the nation to a dismal 44th based on the National Center for Education Statistics 2016 report, and it keeps getting worse. Florida's K through 12 total spending of $8,920 trails the national average of $11,762 by 32%, or $2,842 per student. The school district of Palm Beach County's operating revenue would have to be increased nearly $550 million per year to reach the national average. The legislature's rollback of school taxes over the past 4 years alone will cost our Palm Beach County district schools more than $180 million in badly needed operating revenue to adequately compensate experienced teachers and meet increased demands for school security and student mental health services. This November, countywide Question 1 asks voters, shall the school board of Palm Beach County have authority to levy 1.0 mils of ad valorem millage dedicated for operational needs of non-charter district schools to fund school safety equipment, hire additional school police and mental health professionals, fund arts, music, physical education, career and choice program teachers, and improve teacher pay beginning July 1st, 2019, and automatically ending June 30th, 2023, with oversight by the Independent Committee of Citizens and Experts. Arts, music, school safety, mental health support for students, and needed improvements in teacher pay. Strong schools, strong communities. Election Day is November 6th.
Well, good evening, and thank you for allowing us to play that video. We produce videos and presentations like that so we don't get in trouble for saying the wrong things, as Dr. Armas mentioned. You know, the school district believes it's important that voters are informed and educated about this important ballot initiative. At the same time, we have to be very conscientious that we aren't doing express advocacy. So we're here this evening just to make sure that you're informed of the November ballot and to see if you have any questions. We currently have a $250,000 levy that you all pay with your property taxes now. It's been in place for 4 years and had overwhelming voter support 4 years ago. Our probably most common question right now is, what does that mean for the property owner, and how much is a mill? So voters are currently paying 25 cents per $1,000 of assessed value, and that money has been going to fund over 650 career choice, art, PE, and health teachers. After Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, it became very evident that we were going to have to find some local solutions to some very complex issues across the state. Not only increase law enforcement, you know, the district maintains its own school police department. We already spend $21 million out of our own budget to do that because the school board has always felt that that was important to protecting our schools. But then, of course, the issue of teacher pay and finding a local solution for that. Florida is ranked 44th in school funding. Our teachers in Florida make about 14% below the livable wage of a citizen in the state of Florida. So this is going to be a local solution to what really has been a problem caused in Tallahassee. I gave you 2 really thorough handouts before the meeting started. These are available in bulk. If you would like to distribute them, we're happy to get materials for you. Certainly, we'd be proud to have a yard sign in your yards if your HOA allows that, wink, wink. And at this time, I'll answer any questions that you might have about the November referendum.
So, Chelsea, the penny was really about infrastructure and was not able to be used for personnel.
Thank you for asking about that.
Yeah.
Yes, so the penny sales tax, of which the district receives a half penny, we share the other part of the penny with our municipalities and the county. That is for infrastructure only. So the schools and the roofs and the HVAC systems that we were holding together with bubble gum and duct tape, we are in the process of accelerating those projects. We did 117 projects over the summer, including 18 single point of entry. That $10 million of the penny sales tax was set aside for building infrastructure for safety and security. So that work is well on its way. For all of our ballot initiatives, our board policy requires that we have an independent oversight committee of citizens. And so the penny has its own oversight committee. And this quarter mill that's currently in place has had its own oversight committee. And that oversight committee will continue should this be passed in November by the voters. Any questions?
You mentioned the video mentioned a committee. Who are the members of
The
this?
ISOC committee,
Yes.
for short, that's what we call it. The committee members are actually designated in policy. There's about 13 of them, and I'm sorry I don't know all of them by heart, but the Hispanic Chamber, the Chamber of the Palm Beaches, the NAACP, we have broad representation from not-for-profit and county and government organizations to make sure that it's represented as close as representative of the entire community as possible. Economic Council sits on that both committees, oversight committees as well.
Okay, as part of that committee's duties, is there any instruction to them as far as if this doesn't go through, if the referendum doesn't go through?
This particular referendum doesn't go through. We're short $50 million for not this next fiscal year, but the fiscal year after. You don't compensate for a loss of $50 million without deep cuts across the entire district. That includes teaching levels, administrator levels, support levels. There's just no other way to make up $50 million. Yeah.
Okay, the reason I asked is because, once again, it's passed, but come from a district that was 50% government-owned property.
Sure.
And the 1994 Republican initiative decided that our impact aid funding from the government was an unfunded entitlement, and basically voted to take that money, which was 20% of our budget.
That would hurt.
We also never, at the time I was on the board, were able to pass a referendum to raise.
Yeah.
So
we're seeing a trend in Florida, to your point, where even communities where you would think would have never passed a referendum, this last primary, 10 counties passed of some sort of a levy to support either teacher salaries or infrastructure, including Martin County, which is traditionally a very conservative community, just passed their first levy for schools, and they have another one on the November ballot, so they're going back to back. Across the state, we're already seeing school districts having to find local solutions to problems that have been forced and impacted upon them from Tallahassee, and so this is getting to be more of the norm. Now, if something happens, our CFO would be the first to tell you if there's a windfall of funding from Tallahassee, if the shifts and priorities change and public education is all of a sudden a real priority at the state legislature and we don't need a full mill, we'll scale back to a quarter or we'll scale back to a half. The district believes we've always been very good stewards of taxpayer dollars. We've never asked for more than what we've needed. And in this case, the need is great, which is why we've decided to take a risk. It is a risk to have a quarter and go back and ask the community for the other 3 quarters, which is what we'll be doing in November. Just one more thing I wanted to add. First, the teacher supplements for longevity count towards their retirement. There is some confusion around that, but these supplements count towards teacher FRS. They're not bonuses like the state's best and brightest that don't count towards any type of retirement. The other thing I just wanted to finish with is, for this village, you probably have some of the best principals in the district, hands down. I always brag about Dr. Armis. He runs a tight ship and probably one of the safest campuses I have ever been on. And in my career, I've been on a lot of high school campuses, and in a past career, I actually worked with law enforcement. So when I say he goes above and beyond to make sure that campus is secure and students stay safe, he really does go above and beyond. So much so that when our new police chief came on board, I said, if you want to see a tight campus, go see Royal Palm Beach High School. So kudos to Dr. Armis.
Thank you, Chastity. Dr. Rodriguez, would you like to add anything?
Oh, Dr. Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He's way more handsome than all of us. Happy to fill in.
Just, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. And I know we have some of our team from the Central Region here as well. And we're just excited to be here with you, excited to get a year started and get our meetings rolling so we can keep you updated and on what's happening in our schools in Royal Palm. And I know you saw the video and on the referendum and you know, Ms. Schuyler did an awesome job sharing with you what it's all about and what it means to our system. And I just want to point out to you, before I leave you, that I'm super excited about the fact that this year we begin with all of our elementary schools in Royal Palm Beach being A-rated by the state of Florida. And so we're excited to be back with all of our elementary schools at A-rated. It's a very important foundation for our middle schools and then our high schools as well. So we're excited about that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. We appreciate you stopping by. We know how busy you and the group are, so we appreciate that. Team, anybody else have anything you want to ask or share? No? Everybody good? Sure? Chris, are you good? You look excited over there. I'm worried about you. Too much excitement up here. So from all that, I want to move to a quick piece while everybody's here. This is the Chair's Initiative. And the Chair's Initiative, I thought about this hard. Councilman O'Meara and I have talked about a lot of things. And I think the Watchdog program is something that can do some of what we're talking about in a non-fiscally impactive manner. What better stewards, and there was a pointed purpose why I asked you that question about parental participation, Dr. Armistead, just to figure out how we can do this. A couple of things up front, so you know what the Watchdog program is. The Watchdog program is, and we began it at Royal Palm Beach Elementary, and of course Mr. Hill's the same. Part of that is dads come in and they actually work with the school to provide. We start at the beginning when it comes to how the kids come to school. The safety pieces up front in front of the school when it comes to drop off. We work with mentoring the kids, mentoring those that need the students that don't have dads. Some of them that need just an adult in that world. We also help with whether it's a resource for watching a room while one of the teachers goes down and has to have a conference with the principal, or we get into kind of the student activities piece and help them understand and watch and listen to their presentations and make them feel valued. The thing about this is, and I want to say this out loud because women have taken this role so strongly for so long with the PTO and a lot of things, and it's really time for the men to step up. And we don't ask everybody for hours and weeks and years. It really becomes, can you give me an hour? Can you just show up a day? You know, and we're finding out a lot of the employers are giving them 8 hours per month. And once they come, they'll understand what the value is of spending time with your child. I became cool for like a year because my son thought I was cool because I was a geek before, but I was cool because I was a watchdog, right? And so we ended up having almost 80 dads at Royal Palm Beach Elementary, which is amazing. And it just became those things that that say, you know what? I care enough about my child's education and my school system and my community that I'm going to get involved. So I want to show you just real quick, just a quick overview, and then I'm going to talk about that, and then we can talk about how that moves with what you're doing, Dr. Rodriguez, what Dr. Armistead is doing. And there's so many initiatives. We want to work on how do we work together to kind of not overlap. All right, here we go. So I see 3 of them. Where did mine go? Let's see. Dr. Armistead, did you get rid of mine, did you? You sure? You're getting back at me for asking the question?
No. I took mine, and yours is still there.
Oh, that's it, okay. Let's see. There we go. So real quick, just to kind of help you understand what I'm talking about here. So what it is, dads of great students. That's what the dogs is, the watchdogs, the dads of great students. Omar Vega and myself were part of the beginning this at Royal Palm Beach Elementary, and the administration staff was very open and very excited about a new initiative. So we went and had a lot of fun. It became, if you look at this comic, it talks about dad's there at Calvin, right? He's too busy, he doesn't want to talk to you, and then Calvin tells him, you know, well, okay, I'm just going to sit here growing up without you spending any time with me, you know, until dad's always working, right? And so the dad starts to read him a book while he's at work because that's how not involved that he is at that point. So this is just a quick characterization of what most dads are experiencing as we speak. This is the district's strategic theme here. This is the tie-in here, secure parent and community partnerships to support academic, social, and emotional development for all students. And I want to go to Dr. Armistead's cultural piece, relationships. The emotional piece is a big piece. So if dads are there, they've got a real extra piece to reach out and say, how can I deal with this? This guy pushed me, what should I have done? We teach them how to have some of those conversations, those crucial conversations. So this dovetails into that. Today, the PEP pieces are how males currently interact with young children. Roughhousing, how to talk about aggressive behavior, impulses, right? Losing control of your emotions. That's a piece we really get to work with them on. Encouraging risk. We talk about all the disadvantages and what they don't have, the students. This means overcoming it, helping you to kind of get up over that and having somebody believe in you. All it takes is one person. It takes one person to believe in you, and guess what? You become such a better person in life, and nobody can beat you out to that. You're going to be that strong. And protecting. I will tell you that most that we had there, we had probably 7 PBSO officers. We had 2 federal marshals. I kind of felt bad if somebody wanted to come into the school because they weren't going to get very far. This is a very good group about protection. Eyes and awareness. That's what this is about. So if they're out in the school, somebody can come and talk to you and say, I saw this. I saw this man over here. I'm looking at the fence. What's the perimeter look like? So there's a lot of protectionism. This is when you don't get the money, how are we going to do this? And so why not use what we always have? The 2 pieces about this is about time goes by fast. Well, you look and says, where did the week go? Where did the year go? Mine was at Palm Beach Elementary. It seemed like yesterday. Now he's a 7th grader. I'm dying. I'm like, what happened, right? And then when you wake up and now they're in college, like some of you have children as well. It's just amazing what you're missing, Here's what we do. There's the daily in the front, the parking lot. We talk about ensuring students are prepared for the day. They have everything they need. Make sure they go to class and it's timely. The hallways are very controlled and they act like, there's a professionalism to them. Check with the administration to see where we can help. Can we go help the library? Can we put books away? Can we actually help the computer classes? Can we help the music teacher? Kind of listen to what everybody's doing and control, right? PE. The thing about PE, when you get into locker rooms, all kinds of crazy stuff goes on in the locker rooms. So when male presence are there, it has less likelihood of bully to have the younger children have that probably experience. So it's nice to have that presence there. When you talk about lunches, if anybody's never seen a middle school or grade school lunch, you're missing life because it is absolutely the most insane, just energy-driven, just massive humanity that just has to happen to be controlled. So that presence to be in there to help somebody who didn't get a meal, who's sitting by themselves, to really reach out, kind of helps that student feel stronger about what they're doing. And then you get to the timely passages and the traffic control afterwards. I will tell you that the issue with me is I go to talk about, I'm in Walmart, I'm in a restaurant. Dad, Mom, that's my watchdog. Now that's pretty impressive. And the dad says, what's your watchdog? And I go, oh good, you got 30 minutes, you and I'm going to have you in the next day. He's hooked, he's no way out. So I shame him with the child. This is what we do. I'm not afraid to do that, right? So the D is dad, right? Dare yourself to kind of be a male role model, to go support your student, support his friends, right? A is appreciate every moment with your child because you're missing. You're missing out. I found out my son had a girlfriend. Woo, that was easy for me. I got to use that one a long time. It was good. And then donate. 1 day, 1 hour, 1 time, grandpas, uncles, everybody out there that we can do. And it's time for us to step up and do what we need to do. So I know that, Dr. Rodriguez, you've had conversations with this already. I know, Dr. Armas, you and I have talked about it. We've already had the program at elementary. And so I just think this is a real opportunity for us to think about taking a resource that's already there, already invested, and creating an opportunity for them to come in and be part of what we're doing. So this chair's initiative will to look and to go to every school to make sure that we can introduce the program and support them any way we can. Omar and I are very open to starting it, showing them how it gets done, showing them who to get, recruit dads, and get it started. We really want that to happen here because this doesn't happen in a lot of places, and this is an easy piece where we can kind of do some of the initiatives you're talking about. Okay, any questions about the program or the initiative or anything, any questions on that? Yes. Pam.
I actually just spoke to my husband about this last night and was explaining that we were going to have it at HL. He had 2 questions. One, you just mentioned uncles. His brother lives here also and wanted to know if he could be vetted at the school and could he join?
The answer is yes.
Okay. And then also they wanted to know if it was something that they had to schedule their time or if they realized, I have an hour or 2. Could I show up at the school? I've already been run through the computer. Could I show up? Could I buzz in? Could I say, hey, I'm here for the Watchdog program? And would they allow them if there was no testing to be out?
The answer is yes.
Okay. We didn't know the answers to that.
Yes.
And what the program was all about. So.
Yes, ma'am. Those are both answers are true.
Perfect.
We'll take anything. Any hours you have. That's wonderful. Mr. Hill, can you want to share any of your experience at all real quick? Just a 1 sentence? We shamed you into coming. It was great.
It's just been great. The experience myself doing it as well as my son, and as he says, children in the area, when they see you, they do acknowledge that you're making an impact on what they're doing and just helping some of these kids in the elementary school at lunch. You see the difference, and from opening a ketchup packet to going and sitting with a kid that's kind of over there by himself. There's real differences that you see. I really enjoy it, and I continue doing it. So.
Right. Okay. Okay, thank you, everyone. That's applause. Okay, so after that, let's do a school liaison report. Has anybody had a chance to visit their school yet? Oh, you have. Pam, let's start down here, please. Kind of share what you've experienced and where you went.
I met with Stephen Epstein, the principal of Renaissance Charter. Jeff Hamera went with us, and I'm not sure that he thinks it was a good idea, but it was a great meeting. Mr. Epstein is a fantastic man. We get along very well. He toured around the school. I got some really great ideas. I tell you, the environment at that school made me happy. When I walked into that school, it is a very non-sterile environment, is I guess the best way that I can describe. I had gone in on the 12th, which was the day after they did their Patriots Day celebration. And that school, above and beyond just the things that they do alone for Patriots Day, I wish I would have gone the day before for the celebration. They think their civics teacher every year comes up with a different idea on how they can celebrate the day, how they can get the students involved, how they can get the faculty involved. You walk in and the first thing you see is this huge American flag, and it's made out of different colored dyed popsicle sticks that they did probably 5 years ago, I think, Jeff, 6 years ago. And all the kids wrote, the people that lost their lives that day, they hand wrote out on all these popsicle sticks, and then they glued them on this huge piece of fabric, and it's hanging, and they made it into an American flag. And that was their first year that they did it. And each year, I think it just gets better and better. And from ceiling tiles that they took down at the end of last year and gave them to each one of their teachers and said, do a piece of art on the ceiling tile, bring it back. And they have them dispersed throughout the entire school just to make every student's day better. Just walking through the hallways, and he's given me some great ideas. I'm glad that I went to a school that's not my son's school so that I can take ideas and run with them. And he's a very...
You're borrowing ideas, right?
I'm not borrowing.
You're borrowing
I'm totally
them?
stealing
You're
them.
outright stealing,
I'm
okay.
outright stealing them, and I'm not going to apologize.
We call that best
for
practices,
it.
sharing best practices.
Yeah, absolutely. And he is just so passionate. He's a great man. He grew up right here, right Wellington, Royal Palm. Didn't he go to Royal Palm L? All the way up to Royal Palm High, and he's a fantastic person. I had a great meeting, and I really look forward to this year. I really do.
I'm glad you had a great experience. Thank you for sharing. That means a lot. This is what we want to get to know. Anybody else? Stephen, did you get a chance to go anywhere?
Yeah, Jeff and I visited Mr. Salter's school, Cypress Elementary. Mm-hmm. It was very nice to see a school like that, because I'm accustomed to a school with 3,000 children, not less than 500. So it just all seemed very enticing and manageable. And I didn't get a chance to tour the building, which I'm looking forward to.
Great. Well, good. Anybody else got to visit yet? Ms. Fiona get to visit yet? No?
I've visited Royal Palm Elementary, of course, met with Ms. Fong multiple times, as well as Ms. Goddard, and we do have some things we're working on right now, and the school is just a beautiful place.
Give me one. We know it's the happiest place in the whole world. Believe me,
place in the world.
It's ingrained in my head. All I can see is Tracy every day telling me it's the happiest place in the world. What's one thing you're working on? Give me one thing.
Biggest I think right now is looking at things with school security. Just a new officer that's on campus, how the children are taken to him, and just the whole atmosphere there. That's where we are.
Great, thank you. Vice Chair Clark, please.
Councilman Mara and myself went to Royal Palm High School, and we met with the gentleman who just gave us such an awesome presentation today. He took the thunder, which he should take, because that is his baby, and he has worked hard for his baby. So a lot of what I would say would duplicate what he already said. But I just want to reiterate again, the biggest thing I took from it is this is a principal who is fully invested in the building and in people who are in the building, from, like he said, custodians, lunch workers, staff, clerk. He has a vision for when he says culture, he means it. He's really trying to form and his PA was with us, Amada, is that your name? Yeah, she was with us when we toured, and just to see the students come up to them and interact, and just so you know that it's not a spiel that somebody gives you because you come over to their building, because people do that. I've been a board member.
He's known for that, though. You have to understand. Dr. Adams, he's known for a setup once or twice. Dr. Rodriguez will probably tell you once he shows up. We understand that, but no.
Well, but you can
it
tell
was real,
the
though.
difference.
It was real, yeah.
You can tell the difference when somebody's giving you their point A, B, whatever, and somebody's giving you their heart. And I went over to a football game. Now, I have to admit, I had 2 reasons for going. One was to experience that part of high school. Another reason is because they were playing my grandson's team. So on that note, I won't discuss the score. But even then, and experiencing what they're doing now with the new security things implemented, and just seeing a hands-on principal once again. Like I said, I've seen a district where I didn't see a principal buy in totally, where I see him buying in, and I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to working with him even more. But I was impressed. I was impressed at the size of the school, because we didn't have any school. Our district was 7,000. So to see a high school with over 2,000, and to see it work is an awesome thing. So.
Well,
I was
thank
impressed.
You. Vice Chair Clark, it sounds like it. You have a bigger fan over here, Dr. Arms. Ms. Highsmith, tell me.
I'm at H.L. Johnson Elementary, and our principal, Mrs. Mikowski, worked with Principal Armas, and she's clearly a lot like you. We have also a lot of things that we're working on. We really are interested in the Watchdogs program and how to get that up and running. We're working on that. We're also planning a fall festival in November that is taking up pretty much all of our time right now. Those are the big things going on.
Well, I was over at Western Academy Charter. Councilman Hammer and I were there, and the charter schools, everybody, that's the word, everybody, it's the elephant in the room sometimes. And had a very kind conversation with a very, very bright principal there. And this is a one district, it's one all the way around. And the last thing in the world we want to do is infight between each other. So I have a strong feeling, especially on our board and our piece in life, is to get on the same train. Let's get on the energy bus, and everybody get on the bus and all go the same way. We're all here for one reason, and you're it. It's to make sure we can educate you and grow you and do what you can to go back and give your community what you need to do. We're all on the same page there, and they've got a lot of great programs. She's about to start a drone program where they're teaching them how to do drones, and just amazing things that are going on. And so we enjoyed it, and she was very excited about the new board and working together. And so I think it's the same thing. We see some really great stuff, but you have to open your eyes to see it. That means going and being informed, but you have to open your mouth once you've seen it to tell somebody else. It's just like this piece here. We got to share that with all the other people. This is what our job is to do. So that is our school liaison reports. And now we come to the most important person in the whole place, right? Come on, Christy Jean, tell me now, this is your time to shine.
Good evening. My name is Christindia Jean, but most people call me Chrissy. I am 2018 through 2019 student body president at Royal Palm Beach High School. I've been an active member of student council for now 4 years, and I am an active member of various clubs and organizations on and off campus, such as an avid student ambassador of the SDA Youth Program, and I am currently employed at Publix, and I work in customer service. And after high school, I plan on furthering my education by attending a university. And this year, our Student Council's executive board members met for the first time on June 6th to discuss our plans for this year's Student Council and organize the classroom and prepare for our trip to SFLTC, South Florida Leadership Camp at Nova Southeastern University. This camp was a week full of life-changing experiences. We participated in a variety of leadership activities and listened to motivational speakers while networking with students all over the state. Student Council met for the first time as a group on July 23rd. We got to know each other through social activities, and we started planning for our back-to-school nights, but most importantly, our freshman orientation. Freshman orientation took place on August 9th. We prepared by mailing home flyers, making phone calls home, and organizing different stations that students can attend. Our theme this year was based on lifeguards. Orientation leaders guided new students serving as a Wildcat rescue team and taught them how to successfully navigate into unknown areas like they would the water at the beach. Freshmen were able to receive their textbook lockers and schedules, as well as take a tour of the school and listen to a motivational speaker by the name of Joaquin. We are now planning this year's homecoming, which is on October 8th. The theme this year is Lights, Camera, Roar. Kicking off our week with Marvel Monday, dressing up as your favorite superhero villain, with our annual flag football game as our night activity. Continuing the week with Toonie Tuesday, dressing up as your favorite Toon character with no night activity. And Walk of Fame Wednesday, dressing up as your favorite movie star celebrity with our annual dodgeball game as our night activity. Stunt Double Thursday, or in other words, Twin Day, with our lip sync battle as our night activity. And for Fan Favorite Friday, showing our school spirit in our class colors with our homecoming football game versus West Boca. Then ending week with our highly anticipated Wildcat premiere party, homecoming dance, Saturday night. And Student Council is also getting an early start this year with Relay for Life. I have the honor of being on this year's planning committee with the lovely Carmen Campbell. And I look forward to this year, and I'm very excited to be here, and thank you so much.
So when do you sleep?
You know.
I didn't hear that anywhere. She's a very busy social person here. I think the activity side, she takes up all the percentage I was looking for earlier, Dr. Armas. I think it's, it is a pleasure to have you. You're a wonderfully talented and just a solid person we're going to love having on our board. So your voice is the most important voice, so please always remember that you're open to share and make us smarter about your life so we can get smarter about our district life, okay?
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody, any questions for Chrissy? Yes?
Can I fly a drone?
Oh, absolutely, anytime you'd like. And I yield the floor.
Okay, are there any statements from the public? It's the time we open the floor. Going once, going twice. Okay, let's move on. Let's approve the minutes. We're going to do twice here. Okay, we have two sets of minutes to approve. We're going to approve the minutes from the 14th because as we transitioned over from the summer, we're going to need to make sure we approve those first. So can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the 14th?
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 14, 2018 Education Advisory Board meeting.
Ms. Clark, has one. I have a second? Okay.
I second that.
Okay, he seconds, okay? So Ms. Clark and Mr. Hill, now we need to approve the 13th of August, our last meeting minutes. We have to approve that as well. Can somebody make a motion to that?
Second motion, I make a motion to approve the minutes of August 13th.
Okay, Mr. Brown, first, do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay. So this is the Brown and the Hill, okay, and the minutes are approved. The verification dates. Check your calendars real quick. Let's verify the rest of the meeting so everybody knows when we're supposed to be here. Our next meeting is October 15th. October 15th, Monday. Cypress Trails Elementary will be here, giving us some great things that they do. Everybody got that on your, is that okay? Everybody good on that? You won't be here? Okay. Jacqueline, can we make that note? The one following is November 13th. That's a Tuesday. We moved that because of the voting and Veterans Day. Everybody good for that? Okay. And then December 10th, Royal Palm Beach Elementary, by the way, will be here for the 13th this fall. And then Western Academy Charter will be here on the 10th. Is the 10th good for everybody? Okay. Chrissy, I'm fitting in your social schedule. I'm good? Okay. I feel pretty blessed at this point. And then there won't be one in January, but the 11th of February, H.L. Johnson will be here as well. Is everybody good for 11th of February? And then 2 more. We're going to do March 4th, where Crestwood Middle will be here. Everybody good for March 4th? And then May 13th is our final one at the Renaissance Charter School at Palms West will be here. Everybody good on that? Okay. We verified those, Jacqueline. That's fine. Any new business from anyone? Nope, no new business. Okay, I find this meeting is adjourned. Have a great week, everyone.